Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all my witches, warlocks, writers, and wanderers. I am KibbyRose. I'm Authortubes, lesbian, psychic stoner. I am here to entertain you for a couple hours with some witchy stuff, some horoscopy stuff, maybe some personal rants, and some current event rants. So let me run the opener and get this going. It works if I push the button. So I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Monday. First thing I want to announce is obviously the changes of things. I have found that not only have I gotten a good response from a lot of you regarding my 5 p.m. streams, but I've also found out that with the new Wi-Fi plan and everything that we've gotten set up, I am now able to stream 3 times a week and not even have to blink an eye about it. So we are set to Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I can now give you your horoscopes 3 times a week. I can get you set for the whole week and the weekend. We don't have to worry about anybody playing catch up or trying to make phone calls to figure out what's going on. I'm super excited and super happy about this. As you can also tell, there are some updates and changes to our background and everything else. You know, I'm getting a little creative. There's going to be a fun live stream for, St. Patty's Day. So we're going to be doing that. Today's stream is going to be a little bit different. We're still going to do sprints, but we're going to be skipping the 10-minute sprint at the beginning because I've got some stuff to show off, including February's WitchCasket, you guys. It came and this box feels full. So I am super excited. The first thing that I kind of want to do real quick, if you'll pardon me, because there's something over here that's bugging me. And if you are somebody like me who has ADHD, neurodivergency, and all that fun stuff, having little distractions over to the side, especially like something buzzing or humming or flickering, doesn't work, especially when you're trying to have your focus over here. So sorry about that. So the first thing that I want to show off is I'm really happy about this. This is actually going to go towards the series that we're doing, but I was able to get wireless body mics. I'm super stoked about it. And we're going to have to test it out, see how it's going. This is something that I'm going to dive into our sprints. But I was able to get wireless body mics with 2. So just in case I end up finding somebody who local that wants to do like vlogging, we'll see how that happens. I also want to be able to stream outside as the weather starts warming up and getting better. So I'm thinking that this is going to be, my little way of being able to stream outside without having the wind and everything else go crazy. And it hooks to my laptop. This also hooks to my camera. So the series is getting all set up. Now I can record in the room I actually want to record, and I don't have to worry about the echo. And I now have an entire basically like a photo studio set up in my spare room. I've kind of taken it over, cleaned it up, and turned it into my recording studio. And so that's going to be happening along with that whole thing. So I just want to show that off. And then the next thing we have February's WitchCasket. So I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek first. Oh my. Okay, well, that didn't quite work, but I will show you this first, since these were the things that fell out. That is obviously the cheat sheet in our manifestation card that comes with all of them. But let me open this up and let you guys have a little sneak peek first. I told you this thing's filled to the brim. So first thing we've got is, this is obviously WitchCasket's Green Witch month, and we're going to put this to the side because this is the spoilers, and that's not how we roll around here. We all know that. So first thing we got up is our monthly manifestation card. They give one of these every month. This one's a little bit more simplistic than normal, but I do like it. Gives a little hint of everything that's about to come. So we've got that. Green Witch, you guys, Green Witch. Okay, so I didn't even get a chance. Normally I prep these and being able to open them prior to, but I didn't get a chance this time. So here we have our monthly spell kit, and I'm going to cut this open real quick. All right, so pull this out and show you guys, and I wasn't able to even grab everything. So here is our spell card. And it's Bury It ritual. So this is one of those things to letting go, getting rid of. We've got our parchment. We've got our herbs, 1 and 2. It also came with a green candle. So this is obviously one of those things to bury and let go. So let me check it out. This is a complex spell. So yeah, exclusives, set the cancel once you. So it doesn't tell you exactly what to do. Here we go. Contains all you need to help you let go of what no longer serves you. So, and I love these kind of spell kits. So we'll add that with our collection of spell kits over here. So the next thing we've got is, I'm just going to reach in and grab. Oh, this is cool. Oh, this is something I've actually needed. Okay, so this is a ritual spell card. Basically, it gives you a little square. It's a notepad from WitchCasket. So obviously you get several pieces. And date, time, season, moon phase. This is perfect for ritual work. This is kind of something that I have been looking at doing myself and creating myself because, yeah, when it comes to writing down, all my students will know this is pretty much everything I tell you you need to write down in your notebook when it comes to your ritual work. So we got one of those from WitchCasket. Love that. The next thing we've got, their pin. So here's their monthly pin. Here's the front. Oh, and I love, they've got the strawberry on the back. I absolutely love that. Why is my camera not focusing well with the light? I've just noticed that. So forgive me, guys, on the way that the camera is picking up the light. I'll try to do better. But there is our monthly pin, and I love it with the mushrooms are my favorite. I love mushrooms. I actually have little mushrooms all over my house. So the fact that that's a little mushroom pin, love that. Okay, so the next thing we've got three burlap bags. So we're going to go for our first big one. Oh, I love this. So this is our first burlap bag. It is an apothecary herbs. And from the looks of what I can see through the light, oh, it is. Oh, these are seed packets, you guys. Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay, so we've got bay leaf. So they're stocking you up on your herbs. We've got, what is this? Hibiscus. We've got lemon balm. We've got orange peel. I have a ton of orange peel and rosemary. I have a ton of some of those. So that might be, some of this might be going to some of my clients, but that is awesome. I love the bags. You all know how I'm a bag fanatic. So slide in there, please. Thank you. Thank you. Go, go. All right. So, and I love that little burlap bag. That is so freaking cute. Okay, so the next thing we've got is a little box. And I'm going to show you guys the box first. Wow, maybe down there. Do you like it better down there? It looks like the camera likes it better down there. So we're going to do that then for y'all. Top, bottom. And this is a mini, it's a mini bottle set. Oh, I love this. I have little bottles all over the place. So looks like we got a mini clear one, a mini green one. Let me get these out of there. I like how these are packaged. These are packaged in a way where they're not going to collide with each other. So we've got our clear one, our brown one, and our green one. I love this. This is so cute. This is absolutely so cute. And it's kind of like Ireland. Oh, that's perfect for the holiday right now. That's so much like Ireland's colors. Ah, that's cool. Ah. So if you haven't noticed, I've already started decorating for the holidays. Everything behind me is green and gold because, yes, St. Patrick's Day is coming up and I'm super excited for the stream that's coming. So next thing we've got is, guys, it's a little shovel. And I love how they have the intricate designs and stuff on the shovels. That is so cute. That is so cute. And it's a WitchCasket exclusive. It's branded. So we love that. Oh, and I'm going to be gardening. The sprinklers are coming on soon. I live up in the Pacific Northwest. So we only get to garden certain times a year. So this came perfect because I'm going to be taking over the yard work soon. So next thing we've got is our monthly stone. And this is probably moss agate. Yep, I was right. Moss agate. Yeah, mine can't. Here, I'm going to turn this down because it is obvious that my camera does not like how bright that is. So that's a little bit better. There we go. I'm going to do the best I can, you guys. My camera is fighting with me. I'm working with my new Mac. So here is the stone, and it's a beautiful moss agate. Honestly, that is gorgeous. They always have, like, seriously, we're just gonna put that right back there because inevitably, guys, that's where it's gonna go anyway. So we'll put that right there. All right, so there's scroll. Love that. Okay, so there's scroll. Drying plants and fruits for spellcraft. Plants and fruits. Oh, I love this. It gives you, so I personally have a dehumidifier a dehydrator that I use for all of my herbs drying and everything else. But this is the way. If you don't have one of those, I love the fact that they give you the instructions on how to take care of that, because a lot of people don't understand that it's a little bit more complicated to dry fruits, especially, than just hanging them out to dry. So the next thing we've got two big bags left. So here's our first big bag. And this looks like, oh my gosh. Wasn't I just saying that I have figurines of mushrooms all over my house? That is super cute. And this is hand carved. You can see the detailing of the hand carving, especially in the top. And oh, that is absolutely beautiful. And there's the bottom. So we've got, I'm going to see if the camera will pick this up. So here's this, and we're just going to spin it around. And here's the bottom, and here's the top. And that is absolutely gorgeous. And it's just going to go over here because what not better to go with my toads than toadstools and mushrooms. I mean, obviously. So, and a gorgeous burlap bag. So, and then our last item, that is the last item in this box. We've got, and I don't know what that says. What does it say? Gathering bag. Oh, if it is. Oh my gosh, I love this. So here it is. And if I am thinking of this, yep. So basically, I've run into this doing it myself in the yard and actually creating piles all over the place that I inevitably go back and pick up. This is a set for you when you go out and do your collecting, basically, of your herbs and everything else. So they give you a basket and they give you a bag, and yeah, your choice of which way you want to do that. But I love that because I crack up my mom all the time because I end up with, especially on the patio, I end up with little piles all along the patio of items that I'm collecting as I'm outside. So that is this month's WitchCasket. I threw the box way over here for some strange reason because, yeah, that's the way I work. So I am going to bring up the timer, and I lied. We are going to do the 10 minutes because I need the 10 minutes to put everything back in the box and get everything sorted for our actual stream today. On that note, for anybody who's new here, how we normally work around here is this is usually my personal rants time when I usually rant about my personal things, anything going on. We did WitchCasket today because I get monthly WitchCasket subscription boxes and I love showing them off. After that, we do a 10-minute sprint. Then I do current events and overarching energies and how you can see the planetary influences of such in current events that are going on. Then we do a 20-minute sprint so my clients can work or any of the Authortubers can do their sprinty work. Then we do planets and influences, and I cover the actual arc of the influences and the current planetary changes and stuff that's going on with that. And then we do another 20-minute sprint, and then I do horoscopes. So in the in the planetary influences, I do throw in a little bit of current event stuff because, we have quite a few planets changing gears, and you can definitely see it in the overarching of things. So let me get on with a 10-minute sprint. Let us all get our heads straight. To my Authortubers, do your sprints. To my students, get your stuff prepped for everything that we're going to be covering in this sprint. And I will see you guys in 10 minutes. 3, 2, 1. And don't forget to mute. All right, so that's the end of that sprint. The only problem with me unboxing the witch casket at the beginning of my stream is like during that 10-minute sprint when I'm putting everything away, it's like, no, I want to play. So it's hard. I did get to play a little bit with my wireless microphones that I got. It looks like it's going to be really easy to slide and connect and everything else with my. It's just I'm kind of impressed with what I purchased. Considering I have been dealing with theater and body mics since I was like 7 years old, and that's like, I don't know, 30 plus years. I remember body mics costing, especially wireless body mics, costing like a good $100. And you had the pack that was like, as big as this box that had to sit somewhere hidden on your, and now they just have bam, wireless. This was $40, guys. It was super cheap. And I'm super impressed. So just real quick, I did want to share because I usually skip over this, but as I was putting it away, I found what this were. I want to say this real quick because I said hi to her during the sprint. Hi, Jen. It's good to see you. How are you? I hope things are well. Oh, things are well. Oh, I can feel. Yeah, you're doing well. It's glad to see and feel that you're doing well. I just wanted to share this because Deb and Ella evidently did leave a little message in the beginning of the Witch Casket box, and it says, "Greetings, our beautiful family of witches. February's casket honors the craft of a green witch, a witch who works primarily in nature and who incorporates many natural earthly elements into their craft." Kind of like me. Please remember to read through the pamphlet so you are familiarize yourself with this month's items and any safety information. Okay, I will do so. I've never seen that one before. And don't forget to tag your social media posts with hashtag, WitchCasket, so we can find them. The love and creativity you put into your posts is appreciated by all of us, and we love seeing your casket items gracing your magical spaces. Thank you for always making us feel so blessed to be doing your work. So if you didn't know, Deb and Ella are a mother-daughter duo that work out of UK. They do the whole thing themselves. It is a family-owned business. They are absolutely incredible. There's a lot of family members and everything else that goes into putting the items together, curating the packages, finding the items, packaging it all up, shipping it all. And Deb and Ella, I'm so sorry that you guys have been dealing with a lot of the return shipments that you've been dealing with because I've seen those emails. But just so you know, I highly recommend Witch Casket. You guys, their stuff graces. Like, let's see. Can we point out all of Witch Casket stuff? There, that, this. Like, pretty much everything behind me is Witch Casket. And every single one of those bags of spells, all Witch Casket. So if you are an actual practicing witch, I highly recommend Witch Casket because the products that you get for the cost of the subscription box, you can't go wrong, you guys. You can't. Also, just a heads up, I keep smacking my knee on the table and it keeps shaking everything and it's driving me crazy. And I'm sorry if it's driving you all crazy. Just know. The table that I work on has decided that with the weight of everything that's been on it, not to be as stable as it used to be. I'm, if it's not one thing, it's another. So I'm in the works of currently looking at pricing desks so that things don't fall apart, but I have to work with a smaller space. And there is literally, with how long my legs are, there is a block of wood that is right where my knees are. And every time I scoot in, I'm smashing my knee into it. So if you see me wincing in pain and the table shaking, just know that's what's going on. So please forgive me. So tax return season, we'll figure it out. So on that note, I'm going to go over, I have a lot that I want to cover in regards to current events. I'm not going to waste your time or fill like too much time covering everything that's going on. However, since we are streaming 3 days a week, I figure I can, kind of do that and cover whatever I missed today on Wednesday. Will you guys stop? Every time I connect or open up to the other side, because I'm either going to be I burp every time. I swear it's like a bum rush of energy. Okay, so first of all, interesting facts about today and tomorrow. It's Mardi Gras. And I thought since it is Mardi Gras season and I do have some friends and family that are down in Louisiana, I would go ahead and cover this. But first, let me come in and say hi to everybody who is here. Hello to Shannon Leah. if you are welcome to get a reading, go ahead and read the banner below or skip to the beginning and you can see how we kind of do things around here. I'd be more than happy to do a reading for you. That's why I have the banner going below. So let me just, send your payments, send your request, and we can go from there. Corey, you are in and out. It is a dinner time and got to get the boys fed. No worries. I understand. I am streaming later than normal, and this is going to be my new schedule, so I understand if some of you can't be here as often as you normally are, but that's okay. I appreciate you coming in and out. As most of you Authortubers know, I'm part of most of your replay crew anyways, so you guys appreciate coming in, pressing that like button and everything else, okay? So, interesting facts about Mardi Gras. Let's get into this, shall we? If my screen will work with me. So, Mardi Gras, the actual translation literally means Fat Tuesday. It is also known as the Carnival. The day has roots in actual ancient pagan festivals, such as, forgive me, because I tried to pronounce this earlier, and guys, I'm not good with names, so please forgive me. Saturnella, and Lupercalia. These festivals involved feasting, drinking, dancing, and masquerading. Mardi Gras is a centuries-old tradition that dates to the Middle Ages. It was initially celebrated by European Christians to mark the beginning of Lent. Basically, if you are Catholic and you go through Lent and Passover and everything else, you know that there isn't much eating during this time of the year, especially in the next 30 days. So I can understand why maybe Mardi Gras was used to stuff your bellies, especially if you were Italian. I thought that was kind of just funny because it's the fasting period to celebrate Lent to prepare for the fasting period of Easter. So a lot of us Catholics and Christians, or old Catholics, recovering Catholics, as I call myself, because now I'm a pagan. Obviously, that's something that we are aware of, that you had to fast during Easter. So I understand why Mardi Gras did this. Where was I? I moved screens around. So a popular theory holds that Mardi Gras oranges lie in ancient pagan traditions of also spring and fertility, such as, I already read that. However, Mardi Gras is the type of festivals popped up solely because of the Catholic Church's discouragement of sex and meal during Lent. So pretty much Mardi Gras was the wild Catholics' way of saying, pretty much, here's the middle finger to the church. I'm going to party, celebrate, and do all the bad things before you make me shut down and do all the good things. So, in 19th century New Orleans, the celebration of Mardi Gras was focused on the king cake, which, if you don't know what the king cake is, it's kind of like a fruit cake, but it also has a little figurine in it, and whoever gets a little figurine ends up having really good luck throughout the rest of the year. The beads also have significance. Evidently, the bead colors have religious significance, which surprised me. But yeah, purple, it represents justice, green represents faith, and gold represents power. But I also thought this was interesting because green and gold are the two main colors in the Irish shamrock St. Patrick's Day type thing, and they're not that far from each other. So, but I know that the actual purple, gold, and green is from the old, that is one thing I couldn't find, but I couldn't find this as fact, which is why I didn't add it in, but I'm going to add it in as this is what I heard. So you guys have the information. It was based on the colors of a specific country, the gold, purple, and green. And I wasn't able to find anything about it in my research, but it's bugging me still even reading it, so I'm just going to add it. So for those of you that are celebrating Mardi Gras, have fun. I'm glad. I hope you're having fun. Do your beads. Party mindfully and respectfully. If you're going to get trashed, make sure that you've got a plan to be taking care of everything else. You know what I'm saying? So on that note, you guys are going to see that we have a lot of Aries influence coming in, which helps with Mardi Gras because there's going to be a lot of confidence and connections and social activities that is intertwining, because Aries is not only in Venus. Come here, my little come here, my little baby. But Mercury also moved into Aries, which is also the influence of why we have a lot of extremely active mental energies. So Mardi Gras should be fun for those of you that are down there celebrating. We've got a lot of different things coming in regards to Aries as well. I found it interesting that as Mercury moved into Aries, North Carolinas or the Carolinas and the Chinese and Australia suddenly lit up with wildfires. Coincidental? I always find the coincidences in things. I found it interesting. So in that same note, I found that there's a lot of how do I say this? How do we say it? There's a lot of flipping of the lid in Hollywood and in mainstream media. And the way we're going to segue into this is in regards to the shifts and the energy shifts that are going on in social media. I said on Friday, was it Friday? Thursday, that you are going to see a lot of changes happening over the weekend because Pisces and all these signs were going to cause people to reflect, to look at the deep-seated issues, to look at, deep-rooted emotional, mental sensitivities, especially in personal relationships and communications. Okay. That's what happened over the weekend. On Sunday and into today, we shifted. Moon went into Taurus. Okay. And Mercury's moved into Aries. And with these shifts, this is kind of with those two main shifts, I saw a lot of what I'm about to cover happen. Okay. And for my clients, that's why I do it this way, is because when these shifts occur, oftentimes you can see what's happening on the social front with famous people and kind of prep the same thing for your clients. And it's kind of a precursor, like, it's seeing the wave come as a surfer versus actually, having the weight underneath you and having to jump on your board. So number one, the measles outbreak that's happening. Yes, I know there's a measles outbreak every year. I actually knew the person that started the measles outbreak back in like the early 2000s at Disneyland. However, what I said was this is one of my predictions kind of coming true again. I predicted because of the anti-vax movement that happened in 2012. No, I don't have kids. Should I be voicing my opinion on this? Probably not. Did I still see this coming? Yes, because I had a lot of extended family members around me that refused to get their kids vaccinated because of the fear of what was coming. The resurgence of how aggressive the new measles is. COVID caused a lot of problems that we're not seeing yet in regards to viruses, flus, sicknesses, everything else. A lot of people that may have had other ailments that also got sick with COVID, things mutated, and we're only going to start seeing, we're only seeing the precursor of this. My mouth doesn't seem to be working. Do you guys notice this? Can I get my mouth to work, please? Good gosh. I'm tripping over my own words. I'm wanting to say too much, and I can't slow down enough to say it all. And it sounds like I'm a broken record, and it's really pissing me off. So let me... And since this is my live stream and everything else, and I need my tongue to work because I need to talk, yeah, we're just going to go from there. Okay, so measles outbreak. I saw this in 2012. This is the precursor of what's going to happen because of the fact that things got mutated during the whole lovely whatever pandemic. And people decided not to get their children vaccinated. It's going to start a whole new level of kind of like exposure to diseases. We're probably going to have to deal with chickenpox again, measles, all this stuff that we thought was eradicated is going to come back from what my angels are telling me. If you're already vaccinated, you're fine. For the parents of children that are unvaccinated, this is your warning. You made your choice, but we all make our decisions in lives. And it's hard for me because I can understand why the parents didn't get their kids vaccinated because I couldn't disagree with a lot of the research. But at the same time, I was kind of like, you take your the next thing I saw was, and this is just hard for me, the Oscars. I really do believe that the Oscars did wicked dirty. So normally, normally. I shouldn't say normally because it's not normally anywhere. Back in the early 2000s, when you saw an opening act such as amazing as, The Wicked, Defying Gravity that they did, that movie usually at the end of the Oscars has quite a few Oscars under their belt. The shift into Taurus and the stubbornness, the strong need to maintain status quo spoke loudly during the Oscars. And I am just like, I'm starting to realize, and a lot of my clients, this is a note for you, I'm starting to notice that a lot of Hollywood right now is really being navigated by the moon. I don't know if it's because of the sensitivities of what happened because of the LA fires and all the changes that have been occurring, but the need to dig in their heels and stay steadfast in things that are not working is absolutely amazing to me. Newsom deciding to take the angle of creating a podcast. Well, open yourself up, honey. If you really want to open yourself up to the ridicules of social media, go for it. I think you're going to have a real quick reality check. And Karmic's hammers, karma is not on your side, Gavin Newsom, when it comes to this stuff. So your little podcast, and I wondered where you went. I even said on Thursday, like, where did you go? Oh, that's right. You can't depict and you can't narrate how you're going to be seen on social medias anymore because USAID took away money from political, that now you have to create your own podcast so that you can maintain your narrative the way you want to have it done. Well, I hate to tell you, honey, everybody's going to still tear you apart because if there's any of us that know anything about social media and YouTube, that's what happens. They're going to take what you put out there and they're going to tear it apart. And frankly, the way that you came off in your podcast at the beginning, like, you just pretty much solidified every reason why I ran from California. And I was like, this is why California has gone to shambles. He is so arrogant that he has to create a podcast to demand people to listen instead of understanding that people have already listened to him. They just don't agree with him. So, and on that note, also, Meghan Markle. How dare you steal Pam Anderson's whole series and then decide that you're going to go ahead and throw a hissy fit to Netflix, be difficult to work with, and then have it to the point where Pamela has to sue you for you to basically get a reality check. I keep hearing from the other side, Meghan Markle, that you made an agreement with a specific somebody that if you got to marry a specific somebody, that you would be the good housewife. And you are not keeping to your end of the bargain. And I am hearing, I could be wrong, I'm hearing that if you redirect and start keeping to your promises, everything will correct itself. They're referencing that your decisions in turning tail on the promises you originally decided to make is the whole reason why the path of the destruction keeps blowing up in front of you. You will never be able to solidify the path in front of you until you take accountability for the promises you made in the past. And it's funny that I'm saying that because that is a lesson that I think I've reiterated to a lot of my clients this year. I think that's literally something that has just been repeated this year. Blake Lively, I think that the whole situation with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is getting absolutely revealed for what I thought it was and what it is. And I want to thank Popcorn Planet for finding this clip from this beautiful lady that discovered that evidently a couple years back, Ryan Reynolds did an interview where he was asked if he could be in a time machine and go back and, fix anything that he did in the past. He referenced how he would go back and fix the moment in time when he stopped and stared at a breastfeeding woman. Does not bode well for the current situation you are in with your wife. You cannot call a kettle black and then stand back and let a fire burn. Because, yeah. Oh, God. That was the wrong analogy, and that didn't make any sense. What they meant is you can't be the fire starter, stand back and let the fire burn, and then call the kettle black, is what I think they were trying to say. But that did not come across the way that they wanted it to say. Angels are confusing. They don't exactly use the correct wording, and sometimes we have to fix it. Anyway, I think that's enough rant for now. We're going to jump into a 20-minute sprint. We're gonna go like this. we're going to go, first of all, we're going to go like this. We're going to remove. We're going to go like this. We're going to add. So on that note, we're going to jump into 20-minute sprint. If you haven't noticed, everything, the overarching of what I've talked about is how people have been digging in their heels. And Taurus's moon, definitely in Hollywood, is causing a little bit of increased cautious and awareness in their instincts, but maybe not necessarily in the right direction. And, you know, sensitivity, but firm and unwavering, steadfast energies. Doesn't always mean it's a good thing. And with the karmic hammer that's going on right now, if you're one of my clients, I want you to kind of figure out why I'm saying this and why I would be seeing it this way, because it's very clear to me and I want you to figure it out too. If you have any questions, my clients, especially Emma, since you're fairly new, and Brian, since you're fairly new, if you guys are struggling and you have questions, text me. Okay. I don't mind answering online. All right. So in 3, 2, 1, and don't forget to mute yourself. So that's the end of that sprint. Give me a second. My mouse has decided to not really work. Go. I think I need to charge it. Okay, so that was the end of that sprint. I hope you got a little bit done. Brian, I'm going to take your suggestion. I think it's a good idea that I cover the planetary energies prior to doing the current events. So we're going to change that up in the future streams. Makes a little bit more sense to me that I keep referring to the planetary energies and I didn't go over the overview. So sorry for confusing you, and we'll fix that up for the future. So on that note, we're going to go into the planetary influences. So maybe you'll be a little less confused now on that note. Okay. So basically, as you already know, we have the sun in Pisces. We're just going to jump straight into it, guys. We got this sun in Pisces, sensitive and compassionate interactions with subtle energies and deep depths, better connections to the divine. The moon shifted into Taurus. This happened yesterday afternoon. Strong need to maintain the status quo, increased cautious awareness in your instincts, sensitive, firm, and unwavering convictions, mood and intimacy and connections. So, and then we have Mercury in Aries, which also shifted this weekend, which is, and just so you know, Mercury goes retroactive on the 14th. Sandra, you just so threw me for a loop. I can't ignore your energy. It's so imperviating. I love it. Hey, girl. Hey, my Sandy. I love you, girl. I'm glad you see you're doing well as well. A lot of my good friends are doing well, and I'm glad to see that. So anyway, Mercury in Aries, we shifted into yesterday. Extremely active mental energies, expression of thoughts in a dynamic way, stronger ability to argue, keen powers of intellect. Like I said, we're going to see a lot of the people that are getting their feathers ruffled by karma and society right now, starting to throw a hissy fit this week. With Moon in Taurus and Mercury in Aries, we're going to see a little bit of pushback for those karmic endeavors. There's one of two ways to go it. I wouldn't push back too hard if I were you. If you're finding that you're probably throwing a hissy fit about life, I would find the middle ground right now. Find the best of things, hope for the best, plan for the worst, keep your mind in the middle. Because these energies are not going to lighten up, especially with Venus in Aries going into retrograde already. So Venus is in retrograde until March 12th. So just know she's in retrograde for 11 days. Impulsive and strong urges in love, bolder in romance with chances to make the move and enjoy the chase, and potential to be hasty in habits. Is that really what I meant there? I guess so. So basically, but in Venus in retrograde, it also means that you are kind of reversed in things. Communication relationships is not going to be as clear as you want it to be. You're going to have a lot of misunderstandings and do not jump to assumptions. Do not jump to conclusions. Do not make assumptions, especially in relationships and communication type energies, because of the fact that Venus is in retrograde. You're not going to be seeing it for what it is. Mars in Cancer, it's over retrograde, so we don't have to deal with Mars in retrograde anymore. Not until the end of the year, because Mars goes retrograde again for the end of the year, but not right now. It's in Cancer. Focus on domestic and emotional security, greater urgency to protect loved ones, and hypersensitivity in all emotions. Jupiter in Gemini, opportunity for good fortune, stimulation and new experiences, curiosity and witty energies. Saturn in Pisces, pull to reflect past experiences, oneness with the divine. Uranus in Taurus, sudden changes in finance, innovative energies with practical application. Neptune in Pisces, greater emphasis on all things magical and imaginative. Spirituality will be embraced collectively. Pluto in Aquarius, significant changes in humanity, that begin with sudden endings. Level of progresses will be extraordinary. I am really getting frustrated with my mouth, and it's not working the way I want it to. And I hate tripping over my words, and I hate tripping over my mouth, and I hate sounding like a robot, and I hate repeating myself. So the fact that my tongue is absolutely frustrating the heck out of me right now, please forgive me. Chiron in Aries, wounded healer, acknowledgments of concealed traumas, opportunities for growth, and deep understandings. If I go slower, I trip it up even worse. I tried that. Anyway, so just know we have a lot of energies that are coming in right now that are obviously affecting your communications connections. No, I'm just kidding. we have a lot of sensitive energies that have been affecting us. Sun in Pisces is just going to cause the overwhelming sensitive emotions and deep-rooted, deep-seated emotions to come bubbling to the surface. But all the other planets integrating into that emotion is not helping us right now, especially with the way that Pluto, Neptune, Aries, and Saturn are lined up. The bigger planets just are, the karmic punch is coming from the bigger planets, Jupiter and beyond. That's why there's no avoiding what is happening right now. How we're mitigating and how we're navigating it is in the first 5 planets, or the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. And right now, these energies are not doing well. Not only that, but Venus and Aries conflict. They do not do well. Venus does not do well in Aries. Aries does not do well with Venus in it. So just right there, we have conflicting energies. Mercury getting the fire from Mars. Mercury doesn't need any more oomph from Mars. That's why you're getting that really strong, active mentality and expression of thought in dynamic ways. Is simply because Mercury is causing us to, that's probably Mercury in Aries is probably why I keep tripping over my words, because my brain is moving faster than my mouth can spit it out. And that always happens with me. But just know that if you are with Moon in Taurus, especially with Venus in Aries, any relationship issues you guys are having right now, if you're having any, this is not the time to try to fight or argue or try to mitigate anything. You're not going to get anywhere. Everybody's going to steadfast in their own perspectives. Nobody's going to want to compromise. So right now, especially if you're butting heads in a relationship issue, my best suggestion is to let it go for now until we move into a new moon. Maybe just maybe, if can't say this for certain, but maybe, just maybe, when the moon shifts into Gemini, we'll be able to get a dual perspective, especially in the relationship issues, and Venus and Aries won't have such a negative effect on all of our relationships. So in that sense, you can kind of see how this is affecting everything I've talked about already. With Gavin Newsom wanting to hold steadfast, that is the Taurus and the Moon in Taurus and Mercury and Aries kicking in. Him not understanding, maybe the public perception is Venus in retrograde in Aries. So you're seeing that Meghan Markle having to face the facts that maybe she stole all the information and the ideas for her series, now that Pam Anderson is suing her, and the fact that now it's being exposed because she decided to be, Moon in Taurus, steadfast and egotistical. You see, when a moon is in Taurus, you see a lot of egotistical, not necessarily narcissistic, but very egotistical behavior, because they're strong-willed, very strong-willed during this time, and it can be taken as an egocentric type behavior. The way that Blake and Ryan Reynolds are doubling down on their behavior with SNL. That happened to be with the emotion of Pisces kicking in and influencing them. And now they're having to face the backlash of it with Taurus and them staying steadfast in their decisions. It's very interesting to me how you can see just how these energies literally overarch on a lot of the current events that are currently going on. Another one is how Trump and Zelensky interacted. Zelensky very much had that Taurus moon. However, when you come into a country that's been helping you, this is the way I put it to some of my clients when they were having a hard time with this one. When you invite somebody into your home and you have served them with grace, you have handed them money to help them fight their own battles, you've literally helped pick them up out of a hard time, and they come into your house after you're trying to negotiate agreements for them and decide to disrespect you the way that Zelensky blatantly disrespected both our president and vice president. I understand why Trump reacted the way he reacted. You come in my house after I do all that with you, and then you disrespect me in my home, you best believe I'm going to put my foot down and be like, don't you talk to me that way. I don't deserve to be spoken to that way. There is a mutual level of respect. And if you watch Zelensky's body language, he very much was and Trump's not going to deal with that. He doesn't deal with bratty 16-year-olds. And that's what I saw of Zelensky in that second. Granted, Zelensky checked himself right after Trump did that. But in my opinion, I kind of stand with Trump on that whole situation, because for you to bring your Taurus moon in like that with your Mercury and Aries after somebody has helped you so much, they have a right to match you with their Aries. okay? And especially with Mars and Cancer, they're focusing on their emotional security and their domestic environment. Trump is going to protect his home. You're going to protect your home. So there's even, you can even see the planetary influences in regards to the Zelensky and Trump situation. Okay. The other thing is, I did want to bring in a warning. There's a lot more I want to cover, but we're going to get into a sprint here in a little bit. Okay, so we covered that. Hold on, let me catch up. Okay, and then the other arc that you can kind of see here. Disney with Sunny Houston. Okay, so we have several situations that have come up with Sunny Houston, from her own comments in her own mouth, getting her husband into a bigger, deeper hole in his lawsuit, to them having to actually correct her legally after a commercial now instead of an entire show, to Elon Musk threatening lawsuits simply because yeah. You can have controversy in a conversation. However, you have to be able to have a conversation. And my problem is Sunny, just because somebody else decided to come in with a counterpoint while you were talking that literally invalidated everything you were saying, does not mean that you get to stomp your feet like a 5-year-old and say, let me talk. Because frankly, it's getting to the point where I can't even watch clips of The View or even just recaps of what The View talked about, because I used to watch kind of like little segments of what they reviewed and everything else. I used to watch The View. Can't anymore. Used to watch little segments to see what they covered. Can't anymore. It has literally gotten so repulsive at this point with Sunny Houston and all the women on The View that I don't know what Disney is thinking by keeping the panel the way it is. You can have a controversy in a difficult conversation without it resorting to a display of idiocracy. And that seems to be what is happening every single time The View ladies get on screen. I don't know how else to say it. And I do need to come with a correction, because last stream I said that ByteDance was owned by, or Blue Sky was owned by ByteDance, and they're not. So I'm going to make that correction, because I noticed that last stream. I was like, and I have that random note here, is like, make the correction that you said that no, Blue Sky is not owned by ByteDance. Lemon 8 and Red Note are. So on that, and then yeah, I have a lot more to go over, but I think that's enough for now. I'm pretty sure I drove you guys crazy with everything that I said. So on the next sprint, I'm going to cover, after this next sprint, I'm going to cover horoscopes. So we'll get into that. Let me bring up the timer. And which reminds me, Amy and Brian both got your questions. So if you do have a question, you are interested in asking a question, the instructions on how to ask a question are below. Feel free to send the payment any way you want to, and send your question any way you want. And we'll get to it after this stream, because I do answer the questions before horoscopes. So and I'm so glad that I can do readings so much better than I can actually control my own mouth, because for some reason, doing psychic work is so much more natural for me than actually functioning in real life. So in 3, 2, 1, and don't forget to mute. That's the end of that sprint. Okay, so I hope you guys were able to get some work done. I hope it was productive 20 minutes. So first of all, on that sprint, I figured out what is going on with my mouth. My tongue is swollen. My mouth is swollen. I am having an allergic reaction to something. This usually happens when I eat coconut. I haven't had anything tonight. We're trying to figure out what it is, but when you look at my tongue in the mirror, my tongue is swollen. I have a big mouth. And I realized this when I got my tongue pierced, but my tongue is as swollen as if it just got pierced. So just know that's why I'm actually struggling talking, is because my swollen allergic reaction going on. Have no idea why. Second of all, Amy, you're gonna kill me, girl. But Amy paid for a reading, a general reading, and she asked for me to use my Crystal Spirits deck. This deck works a little bit different than just a regular reading deck. So the reading that I'm about to do is going to be a little bit longer than, or take a little bit longer than normal. So I'm sorry, please bear with me. Brian, yours is next. Yours is after that. That one's just going to be easy because he just wanted a general overlook. And yeah, we're going to go easy. But I go in the order payments were received. So this is the way we're going to go. So Amy, I shuffled a little bit already, but let me shuffle again and just focus. Okay, Amy, I know you're listening because I've been talking to you. Just focus on what it is that you're trying to get a general read on so that I can think. Oh, you can't give me a world view. Okay, well, that's where we're gonna. Okay, all right. Your whole world. Got it. Okay, so we're dealing with lapis lazuli, smithonite, and aura quartz. So let me grab these real quick so I can mark them in the book so I can do the reading a little bit faster, because this is what takes forever, is looking them up. So lazuli, okay, 51 and then 6. 51 and 6. There we go. Okay, so this is what you've got, my dear. Lapis lazuli with the face in it and everything. Smithsonite. And then aura quartz in reverso. So lapis lazuli, spiritual trust, enlightenment, meditation, unity, consciousness, and inner vision. So you're manifesting something. Manifestation. Okay. All right. Rebirth from chaos. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you, girl. Oh my gosh. Just knowing what you've been through, like, this totally makes sense. So, rebirth from chaos, evolution, stress relief, emotional boost, clearing of obstacles to growth. So you're headed the right direction. Trust in your vision, trust in your manifestation. And the last one is connecting to the infinite potential, a renewed sense of purpose, wonder, and awe. Okay, so this is in reverse. You're going the right direction, but you might need to fine tune how you're doing it so that we can switch this the right way, because you want to be connecting to the infinite potential and the reward. So yes, you're envisioning, you're doing correct on the envisioning. Yes, you're headed the right direction. You turned around, you're headed the right direction. We are avoiding chaos and destruction in our lives. The way we're going about it might needs to be redirected. And I did reference that certain substances can be used to mitigate self-soothing in the future. However, when you're in recovery, sometimes those medications can become a dependency for other things. And you might need to, Amy, this is one of those suggestions where I told you might need to go to a retreat for a week and just 3 day. There was a message that Kim Badger, I have to thank you for this because I sent it to Amy. 3 days is not that hard. Okay. And considering I know you can do it because you've done so much so far with what you've been through. However, you need to be very cautious on how you're actually doing it, because you can't, let's not self-medicate with other things and convince ourselves that we're doing things the right way. Okay. And then Brian, wow, they just referenced that your situation's just a big old mess. Okay, if this is going off of the reading that we did Thursday, and I understand what you said, so I'm going to keep as discreet as possible. First of all, thank you for confirming that I was correct. Second of all, I do understand what you meant by how you got into this situation. However, when it comes to karma doesn't really care. Karma is going by energy flows. Okay, so the situation that you're in, your best way out of it is to tell the truth. Just tell the truth on all angles. Your angels are referencing that you might as well mitigate the damage that's already been created instead of creating more by trying to think that you can put band-aids on wounds that need stitches. And you trying to navigate like this is actually causing more waves in the destruction process than you just getting straight to the point and going in a straight line. And they're having me reference it like this versus this because I think you needed the visual to see that, like, you dodging and trying to hide and curtailing everything is literally what's causing all these waves to keep coming up with the emotions and the people. Like, the whole reason that you can't get away from the chaos is because of the fact that you're trying to avoid the chaos. And they're referencing that the more you do it, the more waves you're going to create, the more chaos and the destruction. The best thing to do is just, you need to get to shore. Just walk on shore, tell the truth, face the facts, and hope for the best. Hope for the best, plan for the worst, keep your mind in the middle, because they're showing me that you dodging things is actually what's causing the chaos. You're thinking that you're mitigating and helping people with their emotions or avoiding pain. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not avoiding any pain that's not already there, especially with what I can see is coming. So this situation is going to get worse before it gets better. When you put yourself in this kind of situation, there's really only one way to go. This year is about a truth and accountability, taking accountability for your actions, whether they were positive or negative. And that is exactly the karmic lesson you are facing right now. So, I am not going to in response to your, I hope I don't judge you on this. I don't judge anybody when it comes to this kind of stuff. I would be an absolute hypocrite if I judged anybody on this kind of stuff. I have not made the best decisions in my own life. There is a reason that I am somewhat fairly knowledgeable in a lot of the navigations of these things. So just know that no matter what you're going through or been through or navigating or anything else, I am going to be the last person to judge you. And that goes for any of you out there that are future clients or past clients or whatever. I hold no judgment, and I would be an absolute hypocrite if I did. I am the last person that'll tell you can't change, because I'm a complete night and day version of who I used to be 10 years ago. And you know, if you put your effort and your drive into it, life is about making mistakes. The biggest lesson that I learned about on the other side before I came back was they just want you to take accountability. Screw up all you want. Just understand that you have to take accountability for all the decisions you make, good or bad. So on that note, we're going to jump into horoscopes. Also, Brian, first of all, thank you. I understand you're going through craziness, but you don't have to double down on helping me with my business stuff. I appreciate you pay me. That's what I do. But I am going to take your advice again and structure my opinions to the structure that you gave me, because looking at it the way you gave it to me, it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. So, I kind of want to tell you to apply your business mind to your relationship. That's easier said than done. Normally, I wouldn't tell people to do that, but it seems that okay, this is the best way I can put it. It seems with how you've been able to navigate and help me, just in the way that I'm restructuring stuff on my channel, that you're able to pick up on the little things. You're able to see the organization and how it can flow better. Apply the same thing to your relationships. It might help you from having to cheat again. So, horoscopes. And that goes for anybody. All right. So for anybody who's new here, I'm just going to explain how I do this real quick. First of all, I'm going to explain a little bit more about what it means for Mercury entering Aries, because I actually, thank you, Brian, again, because I was able to reorganize my notes the way that he suggested. And I found something that I missed from earlier because chaos. Anyway, I start on Aries. I go all the way through. From there, I leave Scorpio to the end only because I am a Scorpio. If I try to do Scorpio horoscopes during the middle, my angels start throwing in messages and I can't get through the rest of them. So for my sake, for their sake, for everybody's sake, Scorpio is last. And I'm sorry to my fellow Scorpios, but that's the way it's got to be. All right, starting with Aries. Now, I'm just going to say it this way. For anybody who has to catch this later or needs to just an overview, just know this whole week is going to be about communications, connecting, and business minded. We have a lot of steadfast decision making that's going to happen in the first half of the week, and then we have a lot of wishy-washy back and forth that's going to happen as soon as we move into Gemini. Okay, the moon moves into Gemini. So Mercury in Aries, a little bit more help with you because this also includes retrograde. An explanation of retrograde that where are you? Cynthia had asked for. And yeah, I'm sorry I didn't include that because you asked for that previously and I included it, but I forgot to include it. Forgive me. So Mercury in Aries. Social interactions by fostering a spirit of openness and honesty encourages people to be themselves unreservingly. However, the directness can sometimes be misinterpreted as insensitive. My tongue is so swollen, so please forgive me that talking is a little bit difficult. Retrograde movements. Just know this applies to all planets. Any planet in retrograde movement, this is what applies. Cynthia, this is what you asked for. It's easier for us to become more irritable, unfocused, prone to misunderstandings and conflicts, and even experience mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. That is why when I said Venus entered retrograde while we were all in all that Pisces, I said, if you have any friends that are struggling with mental issues and you know they are the type that can't handle strong emotions, check on them this weekend. That was why, because that is what retrograde does. It literally increases that depression and anxiety in people. I literally used to, you could almost judge my mental by the movement of retrogrades. It was on dot that if Mercury, Mars, or Venus went into retrograde, I hit a depressionary period. I now know to look for it and watch out for it and prep for it. And that's why that retrogrades are so important to me, because I struggle with anxiety, severe anxiety and depression. And knowing that the retrograde planets cause that to double down, that's why it's so important about the retrograde, okay? Mercury in retrograde specifically, our thoughts and speech may become more courageous and innovative. Flashes of insight make it easier for us to think of fresh solutions to long existing and persistent problems. So this is why that you're seeing that a lot of in the chart that comes up, you're going to see that there's a lot of problem solving energy and in communications and personal issues for the first half of this week. And then as we move into Gemini towards the end of the week, which I'll cover on Wednesday, there's going to be that give and take, that balance of the two-face. Okay. So Aries to start. We've got for Monday, we've got an extra boost with Mercury, curious, talkative, and motivating energies, observing energies with nervous undertones, especially with communications. Good trust building energies come in towards the end of the day, especially in deep relationship and connection issues. Into Tuesday, you have strong, personable, problem-solving energies, especially in partnerships, positive energies in communications, learning, and connecting, strong-minded and opinionated energies, especially in practical affairs. Aries, if you have any business decisions or business meetings or business negotiations that need to be done, do it on Tuesday. You're going to have the best energy for it. Okay. And into Wednesday, because on Wednesday, you have strong understanding and investigative type energies with organizational undertones, strong sense of purpose and relationships in your social sector, with a clarity and overall decisions and a self-awareness coming into the evening. Like I said, even Aries, you are going to have the strongest business-minded ability right now. Use it to your advantage. Taurus, on Mondays, you got strong introspective energies, increased need for self-healing and rest, and a focus and attention on mental and personal. Okay. This is going to be one of those things where it's like you cannot miss any mistakes or any false, faultings in your life. Any holes in the personal department, they're going to be blatantly clear. If you're one of those that has body dysmorphia, I highly recommend to self-soothe. This is that time when Venus, anxiety, and depression can really kick Taurus in the butt. Okay, so be very careful. Improving and self-examining energies come into the afternoon. That's why you need to be very careful if you're in a Taurus this evening to not self-examine too much. You can overanalyze and be very self-cruel. So be self-aware, self-mind, and self-soothe. Okay, into Tuesday, you've got strong observational and insightful energies, especially in emotions, interesting and intriguing energies in conversations and communications, with good strategizing, problem-solving, and formulating energies, especially in self-expression and the social department into the evening. Okay, and on Wednesday, you've got engaging and focused energies with the ability to clean up and move out, especially in the personal sector. So if you've been trying to do a deep clean or a spring clean in the emotions and the friends and the social sector, Wednesday is going to be the great day to do it. Conviction and prescription-based energies, or perception-based, prescription-based. I had to stop. I'm like, how can you have prescription-based energies? Well, depression. Anyway, we're not going there. We are not going there. Convention. Now, my tongue is swollen, guys. Please forgive me. I had to have eaten coconut earlier and not meant to, and now my tongue's swollen. Conviction and perception-based energies with a focus on family and home. So Tauruses, just be careful that into Wednesdays and Thursdays, it's going to be very difficult for you to not focus on the deep-seated problems that you have in your personal sector of life. So be mindful, self-soothe, self-distract if need be. Take out go for a walk, get out of the house if necessary. So for my Geminis, strong energies and friendships and dreams, practical, happy, and goal-focused energies do come into the middle of the day, especially in your social sector. Focus on community and friendships with renewed, unconventional interests and complicated energies by the end of the day. You're going to be riding high, Geminis, but into this afternoon and into tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit off, give and take for you. Okay. Useful and beneficial energies and connection and communications with empowering undertones come in the morning. That was a nice way of me saying that you're going to have a lot of frustrating energies that you might need to just kind of work with others in order to be able to make it through the morning. Okay. Learning and knowledge-based energies to come into the afternoon with strong energies in the home and improvement, business and money endeavors into the evening. Okay, well, hello. Okay. It's I don't know what you're responding to. Can I go over Aries? Unfortunately, the way I usually do this, since you're new here, I do appreciate, but the way I usually do this is I start with Aries and I go all the way through Scorpios. I'm a psychic, so it's hard for me to go back. I meditate, I connect to certain energies on the other sides as I read each horoscope. It's actually a little difficult for me to disconnect with them right now because I've got so many surrounding me in order to answer your question. But I saw you popping in, and I really wanted to answer that for you. You're more than welcome to rewind. I did start with Aries, and that was only 2 signs ahead, so you're more than welcome to go back and rewind. Yeah, I appreciate that. Awesome. No worries. I appreciate that, and thank you, and I appreciate you understanding. So. Hello. So for my Geminis, do we cover okay. So Tuesday into the afternoon with business and money endeavors. Into Wednesday. By the way, the Gemini energy, Mr. OK, likes you. So just know that, because they just came in. They're like, by the way, we like him. I don't know if you're a him, but that's what they're referencing. And if you're a female, I'm very sorry. So sometimes I auto answer with their answers before I check myself. So yeah. Strong feelings so for Geminis on Wednesday, strong feelings towards connections, especially in the social department, with deliberate and calming energies, with strong trust-filled energies. It's going to be the good time to see the depths in different social situations. Geminis, you know how you've kind of been wanting to dig through the weeds of your friendships and throw out with the old and maybe filter in with the good. Wednesday is going to be your best day to be able to actually see the layers to the relationships and see which ones actually benefit you and which ones don't. Especially with Geminis, they're referencing, for Geminis, this especially comes in when it comes to business, social business relationships. I don't know why, but I feel like I could be talking to a specific dance mom in this endeavor. Basically because they're referencing that understanding the underlying knowledge of the agreement in the communications in your situation is going to help you. You're going to understand it better on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Why are we doing a reading all of a sudden? Thank you. So Cancers, on Mondays, goal-oriented and focused energies come in with a strong impact in communication and conversations. However, you're going to have overwhelming, disorienting, and complicated energies, especially in the mental department by end of day. Cancers, you can blame Mercury for that, okay? You don't do well when Mercury hits Aries, just because you are Cancers, you're such an emotional water sign, you're so sensitive to that kind of stuff, that kind of impact does throw you for a loop, okay? So on Tuesdays, you've got support building, cooperating, connective energies. Communications are more agreeable than usual, and you've got good energies and reputation in business with the ability to get the advantage on the competition. Enough said for Tuesday. Wednesdays, you got restful and reflective energies coming in with resourceful intellectual energies. Basically, Wednesday is going to be a good day to go over whatever happened on Tuesday, review, assess, and be able to move forward. Strong decision-making and focus-driven energies with discoverable and investigative type energies by end of day. Like I said, business-minded Cancers, whatever you do Tuesday can be reassessed Wednesday. Cancers, you don't usually get this kind of balanced energy to be able to have the emotion one day, then check yourself the next day. That's exactly what's going to happen for you. Okay. Use it to your advantage. Leos, harmonious energies to start the day, positive and active mental energies, ability to understand with broader perspectives. They're referencing that into the afternoon, challenges in communications and interests by the end of day, but this is only temporary because you have a strong kick of creative, confident, and expressive energies that come in on Tuesday. Strong positive energies in communication and connections so you can fix anything that you messed up on Monday. There's a boost in relationships with a renewed interest and enthusiasm in mending and building those relationships. Use this to your advantage. If you have a boss, you know who I'm talking to, who's my Leo. If you have a boss who might be affected by a Venus in retrograde, Wednesday might be a good day to smooth over, or Tuesday might be a good day to smooth over anything that happened during the weekend in regards to business, okay? On Wednesday, we have contributing and connecting energies, especially in the dreams department. Focus on setting up goals, sticking to the rules, and knowing the limits. Enlightening and philosophical type energy comes into the afternoon with ability to have a deep understanding and renewed perspectives. So, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Leos, use this time and energy to be able to mend any relationships and conversations that may have gotten disrupted over the last maybe a little while that you've been lacking, okay? Virgos, Monday, complex, blah, blah, with a swollen tongue. This is too many syllables to say at once. Complex, complicated energies in the intimacy sector come in. Profound discussions and interactions with increased observations and strategizing type energies do come in by midday. However, right now, mysterious and dark energies do come into play for those Virgos into the evening. On Tuesday, you have spontaneous, creative, and impulsive energies with strong self-expression and confident energies with a gravitating undertone. Virgos, if you need to swoon anybody onto your side, if you need to use your talents to be able to get kind of your way, and I hate to say that because it sounds very manipulating, but Tuesday is going to be your day to be able to have that sweet tongue where you can smoosh, okay? On Wednesday, ambitious and organizing energies with the ability to see the depths and layers. Focus on balance and health and home do come in with the clarity in conversations and the ability to have detail, organized, and learning undertones. So basically, Tuesday is going to be a great day for business, Virgos. Wednesday is going to be a great day to fix those relationship issues, okay? Libras, on Monday, decision-making and inspirational energies do come into play with increased mental and intellectual energies in communication and companionships. Do not let this get the best of you because disruptive and confusing emotional energies do come into the afternoon, and this influences the way you're able to communicate. Libras, you're going to feel like you have the gift of gab today. It's going to throw you for a loop into the afternoon if it hasn't already, okay? They are referencing, though, that powerful, observing, insightful acknowledgement type energies do come into tomorrow, Tuesday. Deep emotional, introspective, and connection energies with a strong healing undertone, especially in the emotional department. So, any personal self-wounding work that you need to deal, blah, 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 blah. If they just start throwing heal, help, soothe, mend, we'll just say the words that they're saying is all Tuesday for you, Libras. Wednesday, motivating, determined, and improving energies with the ability for deep understanding. It's because my tongue is swollen. Strong creative and collaborating energies. Good time to put affairs in order. Hold on. Oh. Too many thoughts. Too many comments. Too much information. All right. So for Leos, it's going to be a good time to put any affairs in order that you need to put in order come on Wednesday. Basically, use Tuesday to get observe, get insightful, understand things that are going on. Into Wednesdays, use that energy to be able to fix, mend, and curate any situations that you need to do so with. Sagittarius is great energies in conversation. And I hate it when you guys do this. I know I didn't cover Kendall today. We will cover Kendall on Wednesday. She's not a client. Good gosh, I hate that because Kendall is a Sagittarius. So again, okay, fine. I'm just gonna get them off my back. Kendall from Dance Moms. I'm getting sick of this, so I'm just gonna put it out there because I'm obviously I'm getting sick of this. They're referencing to me that you need to be very careful with the situation that you're dealing with because you're going to end up being a ping pong ball used for emotions to backlash on the other person. There, I said it, and I'm not, and like I've said before, I'm not reaching out to these people to DM them privately. I'm not like when it comes to like regular people, that's a different story. Famous people, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna. There's a line I'm not gonna cross. So anyway, Sagittarius. Now can we do it? Thank you. Monday for Sagittarius is great energies in conversations and communications, confident self-expression energies with fun, ambitious undertones. Overly intellectual energies come into the afternoon with over-analyzing and analytical undertones, especially with past situations. Into Tuesday, you have learning, focus-driven, and problem-solving energies, organizational and maintaining type energies, especially in the personal sector. Empowerment and creative energies and romantic endeavors just come into the afternoon, but they're referencing to be very careful because with Venus in retrograde, you're going to love the chase more than you love being locked down. Wednesday, you've got observant, strategic, and connecting type energies offering valuable insights, especially in communication and connections in business undertones. Intrigue and profound understandings is going to happen in discussions. However, they're referencing that if you don't have the discussions, there will be no profound intrigue understanding. The problem with Sagittarius is oftentimes when these kind of overwhelming energies do come in, you want to hide. This is not the time to hide. This is actually time to poke and prod. You need, and I think this is why they're referencing this for Kendall, because right now there's certain Sagittariuses that need to find out the truth about the situation in order to understand where they stand with those people, in order to not have a negative backlash hit them in the future. So for my Capricorns, okay, you've got strong home and family energies to start, with good energies in communications and learning. Understandings and difficulties in expressions does come up into the afternoon, but that's because there's strong emotions based on past experiences that are starting to poke their head and bubble to the surface. They're referencing for you Capricorns. If you think that you've put an issue to rest, Monday today is probably proving to you that you didn't. So into Tuesday, you're going to have strong emotional and mental energies that come in, but you're going to have happy and positive interactions with communications because you're having a confident and courageous undertone come in. Domestic and family affairs will be constructive, satisfying, and pleasurable. So if you're having a hard time with a partnership, Capricorns, focusing on family is going to help you out on Tuesday. Into Wednesday, focus on health and personal well-being comes in, with fixing, mending, and readjusting energies, especially in emotions. Good insight and enlightenment in conversations, with the ability to read between the lines and hit the heart of the situation. Capricorns, whatever got you mixed up, confused, lost, distracted on Monday, you're going to be able to get to the root of the issue on Wednesday. Capricorns, for some of you that I've seen, you guys are doing this lolly with a relationship where life is testing you, karma's testing you. They're trying to see, are you going to stick with the highs of situations, even though they don't seem like the high at the time, because that's what's best for you? Or are you going to sink back down to the low because what you want is not necessarily what is the best for you? So just understand that this is going to continue. And with Gemini coming in on, wow, you guys are coming in strong with that. For my Capricorns, on Wednesday, Thursday, when the moon switches into Gemini, there's going to be a double down effect like this for you, and we're going to need to be careful with that. For my Aquariuses, ease and grace in communications, with the ability to absorb and share and learn. Analytical and critical energies from others, with overwhelming and observant energies with unique undertones. You're going to have the ability to learn from a different perspective, Aquariuses, especially on Mondays. Into Tuesdays, you've got great energies in communication, networking, and connecting. Again, continuing in that relationship department, with an advantage to be able to advance such relationships. Strong understanding and communication in emotions just come in by the end of the day. Aquariuses are just riding high. Aquariuses just have good energy, strong, intense energy, and we're just riding high right now. So Tuesday, energies and we already covered Tuesday. Wednesday, insightful energies and communication, with the ability to see different perspectives, improving and changing energies, clarity, and unblocking in emotions. Aquariuses, you guys are just seeing, feeling, rolling with the punches, going with the flow. Use this energy to your advantage, basically, to make sure that you are on top of all the issues in your relationships, and make sure that all the pots are being stirred equally, as I always say to my clients. Pisces, we've got strong practical mental energies that come in today. Not the best time to start new endeavors. Venus going into retrograde does not do well for Pisces. We do not handle it well, especially in Aries. Pisces and Aries, they don't do well. They're right next to each other on the chart, and they tend to fight with each other. Strong clarity and reasoning energies do come into the afternoon, with assertive decision making, especially in money management. However, they're referencing that overwhelming emotional energies do come into the afternoon, so it's best just to kind of mitigate and self-soothe. Okay, into Tuesday, you've got happy, positive energies and communications. Healing, constructive, and respectful discussions are possible throughout the day. Strong, analytical, and business-oriented energies do come in today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. You've got that business arc going for you, Pisces. Okay, it's going to be a good time to plan, strategize, and fine-tune all the details. Get those to-do lists done. Pisces, you are so good at creating those to-do lists. You're going to have amazing energy these next couple of days to actually get them done. Strong organizational cleaning out type energies come in, with good energies to get those to-do lists done. Maybe I'm connected to the same angel I was doing meditations with when I was writing this out. because but be careful, because into the afternoon of Wednesday you do have irritating, impatient, and superficial energies and conversations. Only in conversations though, so if you can stick to yourself, you'll be fine. Investigating and resourceful energies do come in, especially in your personal sector, with a confident undertone by the end of day. So Pisces, as long as you can kind of just stick to yourself Wednesday afternoon when energies get a little wonky, you'll be fine. For my Scorpios, focus on work and health comes into play with increased focus in business. Good energies to fine-tune routines and get those to-do lists done. Good communications with detail-oriented undertones. Good time to examine relationships and work projects. That is pretty much what today was, especially for me. Tuesday, strong mental energies, especially in practical matters. Mending, rebuilding, regenerating type energies and relationships comes in by midday. Confident energies in conversations and practical matters comes in by the end of day. Scorpios, if you are in a relationship, tomorrow's a good day to strengthen those relationships. If you're wanting to start a new relationship, don't. Venus is in retrograde. I don't ever recommend starting a relationship when Venus is in retrograde. Period. Okay. On Wednesday, cleaning out and renewing type energies in home and personal matters. High motivation in work and the ability to reinvent the home life. Emotional problem solving and detail-oriented energies, especially under the surface type energies, can occur at the end of day on Wednesdays. Wednesdays is going to be a self-soothe, self-distract type of day. So that's kind of where you're going to want to put your focus and your energy on. Guys, we've got we've got Mercury starting retrograde on the 14th. We've got Venus in retrograde on the 1st. Retrograde causes depression and anxiety when we have two planets that are going to coalesce together side by side from retrogrades like this. We need to be careful emotionally and mentally. It's all across the chart. So just be careful and make sure that you're self-soothing and everything else. So I can now tell that whatever is affecting my tongue is now affecting my throat because my voice is getting scratchy. So I think we're going to end the stream there. And I'm going to do a little bit more investigating and figuring out what it is that I ate, because this is definitely a coconut allergy reaction. I've had the reaction enough to know, and this is definitely from coconut. So on that note, everybody raise their glass. And we're going to do our closing cheers. I forgot to do this last time, and I forgot to do it again. First of all, thank you to my replay crew. I do see you. I do appreciate it. Remember to do the like and subscribe things. It's not important to me, but it is important to YouTube. It's how they know you like the video, and it pushes it out to more people. So if you know there's more people out there that could use readings and horoscopes, put it out there. If you like, there's people out there that you know that would enjoy the rants, that too. So go ahead, like, subscribe, ring that bell. We are now streaming Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5 p.m. So I will see you guys Wednesdays. And until then, may your angels be strong, may your energies be positive, and may karma be ever in your favor. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.